Welcome to Kamjiverse. This is your exclusive bridge between the legacy of classical Africa and the triumphs of modern African revolutions. You won't find this connection anywhere else. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Share this video with friends and family. Become a channel member or join our Patreon. The links are waiting in the description. Let's honor our sacred legacy and ignite our future together.
You will hear about the African Union. Yes, it exists. But what is the effect of the African Union in reality? We cannot talk about integration in the theme and not talk about the African Union. Because it is this organization that should unite us, create real integration. But we regret to see these wars that persist on the African continent, killing millions of young people. And that this organization, which has heads of state, with armies, is unable to organize itself to support certain countries. The Union is not just a word. The Union is a symbol. And we, the youth, should learn a lesson from this situation to unite, to make integration a reality. I was unpleasantly surprised when Ethiopia, which hosts the headquarters of the African Union, was experiencing a conflict. And when I saw the Prime Minister put on a military uniform and announce the closure of the university in Addis Ababa to face the threat. I did not see any action from the African Union to protect these headquarters. Most Western states saw Addis Ababa falling, packing up and leaving. Ethiopia fought, found an internal solution, and is living more or less in peace today. The children of Congo have been dying for years. Several other conflicts, such as in Sudan, exist on the continent. We would have liked to see the African Union generate the forces and all the necessary strategies to support these states so they can regain peace. For nearly 10 years, the Sahel has been the theater of international terrorism. But we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem. Worse, a few days ago, a country foreign to Africa openly announced having supported and participated in a cowardly terrorist and barbaric attack against the forces of our confederation in Tinsawatten. The African Union did not utter a word to condemn this interference by a state outside of Africa in the internal affairs of our states. I would like them to hear this and therefore break their silence and take action so that the youth can believe in the African Union.
Captain Traoré's Pan-African vision and the linguistic foundations of unity. Our ancestors built pyramids. We will build our future, declared Captain Ibrahim Traoré, leader of Burkina Faso's revolutionary movement and architect of the Alliance of Sahel States, AES. His rallying cry, a rejection of neo-colonial fragmentation and the call for global black unity, resonates far beyond the political arena. It echoes in the work of African scholars like Théophile Obenga, whose comparative linguistic research reveals a true colonial ethnography sought to bury. Africa's languages, cultures, and peoples are bound by an ancient, unbroken thread. Traoré's demand for Pan-African solidarity finds its epistemological foundation in the Niger-Egyptian language family, a framework that traces linguistic kinship between ancient Kemet and modern African languages, like Dagara, spoken in Burkina Faso. Just as the AES rejects foreign military bases and economic exploitation, Obenga's morphological and syntactic analysis dismantle colonial classifications like Greenberg's Niger-Congo phylum, exposing their role in erasing Africa's shared heritage. This essay argues that Traoré's vision of international black unity is not merely political, but civilizational, rooted in linguistic evidence that affirms Africa's interconnected past and collective future. By bridging Obenga's rigorous comparisons of Dagara and ancient Kemetic with Traore's call for sovereignty, we reclaim a narrative of continuity, from the Nile Valley's pyramids to the Sahel's revolutionary horizons. The classification of African languages has long been dominated by colonial-era frameworks that sought to fragment the continent's cultural and linguistic unity. Joseph Greenberg's mass comparison method, which divided African languages into rigid phyla, like Niger-Congo and Afroasiatic, relied on superficial lexical similarities and ignored systematic historical analysis. In stark contrast, scholars like Théophile Obenga and Cheikh Anta Diop have championed the Niger-Egyptian language family, emphasizing Africa's shared linguistic roots through rigorous comparative methods. This essay examines Obenga's groundbreaking morphological and syntactic comparisons between ancient Kemetic and Dagara, a language spoken in southwestern Burkina Faso, to validate the Niger-Egyptian linguistic unity and dismantle colonial ethnography's divisive legacy. Greenberg's methodology, rooted in Eurocentric assumptions, reduced African languages to static categories, erasing their dynamic interconnections. The Diopian Obenga school rejects this approach, employing the historical comparative method, the gold standard in linguistics, to reconstruct Africa's linguistic past. By analyzing systematic sound shifts, grammatical structures, and shared lexicons, Obenga demonstrates that ancient, Kemetic, and modern African languages, like Dagara, descend from a common ancestor, Paleo-African. Obenga's comparative study reveals profound connections between Dagara and ancient Kemetic across multiple linguistic domains. First pronominal systems, inverted kinship. First and second person pronouns, Dagara N I and Fu you. Ancient Kemetic Entwe and K. Obenga notes an inverted kinship where Dagara's first person singular aligns with Egyptian's first person plural, and Dagara's second person singular mirrors Egyptian's third person singular. Such inversions, while rare, are attested in language evolution and suggest a shared proto-system. 2. The verb to be, a grammatical fossil. Both languages use the root I to denote existence. Ancient Kemetic, I, to be, IW, is. In W, it is. Dagara I to be, it exists, inu, it is. The identical derivational patterns, e.g., I plus na, exists in Dagara, a plus nvo, it is in Egyptian, highlight a shared grammatical logic. Third plural formation, the WB correlation. Ancient Kemetic forms plurals with W, masculine, and WT, feminine. PR house, PRW houses. Dagara uses be, neo, man, nibe, men. Obenga argues that be derives from an archaic way, phonetically shifting from W to B, a common sound change in African languages. 4. Abstract noun formation, the prefix BW/BU. Both languages use BW, bo, to derive abstract nouns from adjectives. Ancient Kemetic NFR beautiful, BUNFR beauty. Dagara, sebla, black, bunsebla, blackness. This prefix, found in other Niger-Egyptian languages like Wolof and Kikongo, signals a deep-rooted grammatical tradition. 5. Expression of past tense, the NNA particle. Ancient Kemetic places N after the verb to mark past tense, I did. Dagara uses NA similarly, inate I did. The shared syntax, post-verbal particle, and phonetics, ena, suggest a common proto-feature. Lexical correlations beyond chance. Obenga identifies cognates reflecting shared cultural and environmental experiences. Water, ancient Kemetic mayu, water. Dagara ma, river. Power of the nature, Ancient Kemetic Aku, spirit. Dagara Ku, death. Mbochile Ku, transition to ancestral power. Elephant, Ancient Kemetic 3, BW. Dagara Wobe, Mosi Woba. These parallels, spanning millennia, defy coincidence and affirm a shared lexicon. Methodology, rejecting mass comparison for rigorous reconstruction. Obenga's work adheres to the principles of comparative historical linguistics, contrasting sharply with Greenberg's cherry-picked lexical lists. By reconstructing protoforms, e.g., Paleo-African EI for to be, and tracing regular sound shifts, e.g., W, B, Obenga demonstrates systematic kinship. His analysis of Dagara's oral traditions, which trace migrations from ancient Ghanaian kingdoms like Gabanga to Burkina Faso, further supports the Nile Valley Sahel cultural continuum. The Niger-Egyptian model transcends academia, resonating with political movements like Captain Ibrahim Traoré's Alliance of Sahel States, AES. Just as Obenga reclaims Africa's linguistic unity, Traoré's rejection of neo-colonial currencies, e.g., the CFA franc, and military partnerships embodies a broader decolonial praxis. Linguistic sovereignty and political self-determination are intertwined. Affirming Dagara's ties to ancient Kemetic undermines colonial narratives of African disunity and validates indigenous epistemologies. Théophile Obenga's Dagara Ancient Kemetic comparisons dismantle the myth of Africa's linguistic fragmentation. By exposing shared grammatical architectures and lexicons, he restores the continent's narrative of continuity and innovation. This work aligns with Captain Traoré's vision of an AES rooted in cultural sovereignty, proving that Africa's past, encoded in languages like Dagara, holds the key to its liberated future. As Diop asserted, a people without a past are a people without a soul. The Paleo-African linguistic family, exemplified by Dagara, is that soul's enduring voice.
Join the Comgiverse Patreon for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes access, and special perks. Support the channel and connect with a community of revolutionary intellectuals and scholars. Click the link in the description to join now.